Hi everyone. So today I'm going to show you how to change your turbo oil feed pipe, which is a common on a Mark IV Megane RS trophy, which is a common issue on this model. I think there was a recall initially for the cars, and I'm going to change them as part of that recall. But if your car is over warranty, or you haven't managed to get that recall done, or it's still leaking, then I'm going to show you today how to change that pipe. So in terms of parts needed, you need the new oil pipe, which looks like this, and actually this is a new part number. It's a revised part number for this. You need the two banjo bolts. That's install the pipe onto the turbo and the engine block. Obviously they need to be replaced as well, because the old ones are probably corroded. So this is the part number for them. You need two of these, and then you need to replace the copper gaskets as well, which look like this. So you need two of these as well. This is actually a Nissan part. That's the part number, but again, they are OEM. Renault use the same Nissan parts as well, because the RS engine is a Nissan engine at the base anyway. So you're going to need two of these. In terms of tools, you will need a 17mm socket to remove these banjo bolts. They are 17mm. You'll need a 10mm socket and a Torx 30 T30 to remove the turbo heat shield, which covers the pipe. Then you will need some ratchets and adapters as well. Then you'll also need a small torque wrench that does low ranges. So I've got one here from Halford that does between 4 and 20 newton-meters. So you need one of these as well, because you need to torque the banjo bolts to 25, I think, 25 newton-meters, and the other bolts like 7 newton-meters and lower torque. So that's all you need. Then I'm gonna move you to the engine bay and show you what needs to be removed, because it's quite a lot to be fair to remove that pipe and install a new one. So let's crack on with this. Right, so to get to the things like spark plugs or turbo or anything like that from here, you need to remove this big air intake pipe that goes into the turbo and then onto the intercooler here, down here, which you can't really see, but there is a clamp here, so it's pretty well mounted in here. So I'm not sure, I think easiest would be to remove it from this side here. They've got a kind of like a wire kind of like clamp, which you can remove with a small flathead screwdriver. Then it's got these two circle clamps here, which typical Renault, they changed the head. Usually used to be like a square, like a hexagonal head. You could use like a socket or wrench on it, or flathead screwdriver. Now it's got this like triangle shape star kind of like head, which I've got no tool to remove. So see how you can do this. Let's remove this first here. So you wanna release the wire clamp from here and from here. There we go. That's released now from here. And we need to find a way of removing that circle clamp. I'll use these pliers. Oh yeah, it's pretty easy. This give it a few turns to loosen it up. Might be easier to remove this 10mm bolt from here as well. Let's just do that. There we go. That pipe is off. Right, so after you have removed the air intake pipe between the turbo and the intercooler to make some space, then we need to work on this big bad boy here. So I'm not sure if you can see on the camera, but that's the bit that leaks. You can see it's quite oily and dirty in there. So that's the banjo bolt with the copper washer, and that's the feed, the pipe that feeds the turbo with the oil. And it goes all the way through this flexible bit here, then it goes all the way down behind the cats, and then you can see down there the second banjo bolt. You can see it's quite tight in there, so we need to remove a lot of things to get to it. I mean, removing that can be done with this 17mm wrench, just easy, but then you need to torque the new one to 25 Nm, so I doubt you can squeeze a torque wrench in there because of the cat, it's in the way. So according to the service manual, you have to remove the cat as well to get out of the way, so you can pop a wrench in there. But okay, let's see what we can do about it. So in terms of removal, then you'll need to remove the turbo heat shield, which is this bit here. So it's held in place by 1, 2, 3 10mm bolts, which are quite rusty, these here. And then it's got one here, and I think there is another one at the back here. Let's see, the torque's 30. Yeah, there is another one behind here. You can't really see it here, but it's down there, trust me. Let's see if I can maybe use a mirror to show you. Let's try it anyway, shall we? There is one there, that's the 10mm bolt, and somewhere here it's the torques bolt as well. I can't really see it on the camera, but trust me, it's there. There you go. I think as you can see that black bolt there, that's the torques 30 as well, needs to be removed, which is the same as the one on the top here. So let's remove this heat sheet first, and then we're gonna see what we can do about it. I'm gonna pop the camera onto the fixed position now. Back. Try and remove the 10mm at the back here just by feeling it, because I can't really see it there. Back. And you've got the two T30 to remove. And the one at the back again. You need to remove it just by feeling it. There you go, that's the second one. Now this cover just comes off. Okay. Now if you want to remove these O2 sensors or whatever they are, you can do that, but I'm not going to bother, so you can just get this out of the way. Like that. Just make sure you don't twist that wire too much. And you can get access to the turbo. As you can see, it's got a lot of oil on it because of this here. So right. Now to remove the pipe, we need to remove this. I think it's an 8mm bolt as well here to release the bracket. And then he's got another one in here that needs to be removed, and then banjo bolts. So let's remove this one first. It's very tight. The smaller extension. This is very tight for such a small bolt. Let's get a bigger ratchet out. Extension, of course. There we go. That was really tight, and I'm definitely sure it shouldn't be that tight, really. That's one, and then the other one should be an 8mm. Right, so we have managed to remove that. Now we just need to remove the banjo bolts, and then we should be able to take this pipe out of here. Okay, so we will need to get this out of the way. So to prevent from not removing the sensor from here, you can just unclip the connector. So we should be able to push that. There we go. And remove it from this bracket here. And just slide that out, and then just put this away. Okay, sensor out of the way. And we need to find a way of removing the cat, so I'm guessing we need to remove this clamp. And then it's got a finger bolt in here. And then we should be able to get to the banjo bolt on the bottom and remove that, and then plug the new one in. So let's just do that. Just a quick update, guys. So to avoid removing the cat um, to get to the banjo bolt on this side. So I've decided to leave the car up on the jack, remove the front wheel, and then just go from underneath with a 17mm wrench, and you can just literally crack the banjo bolt loose, and then from the top we can do it by hand now. So just gonna go ahead and remove it now completely, and then continue with the replacement. Right, so I was just saying, I managed to get the banjo bolts on this side loose from underneath the car. I had to jack it up on this side, remove the wheel, and then go from underneath with a 17mm wrench and loosen it a bit. So now I can just squeeze my hand in here and then remove it by hand. There we go, one out. Down there will be some small oil leak, but that's okay. And then we will remove the other one here on the top. There's the top one. You can see if it's between these, the bottom one is clean, this one is a bit corroded and rusty, and it's got lots of gunk on it. I'm guessing because this one gets hotter from the turbo than the one on the bottom, so that's why you need to probably replace both of them. So I'm trying to buy it right now. So now we've got both of these off, we can just go ahead and remove the oil pipe. And there we have it, the old pipe removed. Just make sure you don't spill the oil because you've got some oil inside it. Right, before you can install a new pipe, you have to give the turbo a quick clean. Make sure you spray it really well with some brake cleaner. Get all that oil off and get a rag. Give that a good clean. Make sure you cover the inlet oil hole from the turbo. You don't want to get anything in there. I'm not sure if it matters or not, but better be safe than sorry. It's all nice and dry now, so we're ready to put the new pipe in. So we are now ready to install the new oil feed pipe for the engine. So we just cut these. So we have the new pipe. The new gaskets and the new banjo bolts. Right, so we've got all the parts ready, the bolts, the gaskets and the new pipe. So let's go ahead and install it. So first things first, we need to put it in position. Okay, let's temporarily put the support bolts back in so it stays in position. Okay, now the washing in place and the new banjo bolt. Just do them by hand at the moment. We will tighten them afterwards. That it's in. Now let me go and put the one here at the bottom as well, which will be a bit trickier. Okay, so I managed to install both banjo bolts. The one on the bottom here, it's easy if you go from underneath the car to install it, because from here it's very hard unless you have a really tiny hand. I mean, I can barely squeeze mine, and I've got medium hands kind of thing, but it's easier from underneath. So I've got both of them now. I've torqued the bottom one already, so I'm going to finish torquing up the top one. Again, 25 Newton meters. You need to torque it too, according to the specs. So let's go ahead and do the top one. When you install the copper washers, make sure you don't install them to the max so they don't touch the actual pipe, because when you tighten the screws back in, they might bend. That was the issue with the factory one. It was bent because they installed it to the top here, and once it hits the pipe, if you force it with a torque wrench, it will just bend the actual washer and it might leak. So make sure you leave a bit of gap between them. Actually, you can see there, but this is what I'm talking about. So this copper washer has got this little arm here, bent. Make sure this doesn't touch the pipe, because if this touches the pipe, when you tighten this further with the torque wrench, it will bend that against the pipe. So make sure you leave a bit of gap between the pipe and the washer. Same on the bottom one. I'm not sure if you can see underneath there. It's quite hard to film, but you can probably see. There you go. You can see the copper bit. It's not touching the pipe, so it's literally, there is a lot of space between them. So when you tighten the bolt, it doesn't bend the actual washer. Just a bit of tip there. Right, so these are both tightened now. I've also tightened the support bolts here. So now we're just going to put the thermal shield back into the turbo, install back all the piping, and that should be it really. So let's just go ahead and do that. So now we're going to install back the heat shield on the turbo. Make sure you remember to put this connector back in here. Fix it into position, and you can put one of the Torx 30 bolts back in, tighten the hand, a 10mm goes in here, and then this one that goes above on top of the turbo. I want to give this a quick skirt of WD-40 because it's very rusty. Okay, and then try and install the ones at the back here, but make sure you don't drop them in there, because you have to go underneath the car, take the under tray off, and then retrieve them. So make sure you're really careful. wonder it's not working. That's the 8 mil. So, okay, where's the 10 mil? There's the 10 mil. And then put the last Torx 30 at the back here as well. See if I can find where it goes. Sometimes if you have one of these mirrors, you can go underneath and you can see better behind stuff. Okay, those two are done. Let's do these as well. All good. Now remember to put the wire back in here. Pop the connector back in for the sensors. bend these back so they don't get loose. Okay, so that's it. All we have to do now is put the servo pipe back in, this big boy here, pop this back in, and that's it really. So yeah. There it is. So you want to make sure that you align it properly with the mounting here. What you want to do is pop this back into this bit here first, and then make sure you pull this wire and like thing back in here. Need a screwdriver to keep it in position. What we want to do is fully push this into the turbo. There we go. And release the clamp back into position. There we go. Make sure you pull on it so it doesn't come off, because otherwise when you boost, so when you drive the car and you do like boost, it will just spill it out. So that looks quite secure in there. Now what we're going to do is put the 10mm bolt back into this bracket here, which keeps the pipe in place. Just leave my hand quickly and then take the 10mm short ratchet as well, and then do it. Might be easier with the actual small wrench, to be fair. 10mm wrench, there you go. Okay, don't go crazy on this either, but just a bit of force. That's it. And then don't forget to tighten this back in here as well. This clamp with this funny head. So if I can do this by hand, most of it anyway, and we can go back in with the pliers and grab it. These are some special pliers. You can see here they got some groove and some teeth. These are usually used to remove like stripped bolts, so it's not your normal plier with these. I'm sure it'll be alright, but these are much easier because they actually grab onto the actual heads here, then, and there is no risk of like scratching it either. So can get this properly tightened in there. And that's about it. Make sure you nice all the way. Otherwise, as I said, the force of the boost will push these out of place. So I think that's about it really, guys. All finished. As I said, car is 6 years old, to be fair, so it needed a bit of maintenance. As I said, I've changed the plugs, changed the oil feed for the turbo. Change these engine mounts, so the top one here and the bottom with the Powerflex fast road version, which is the purple bushing, and the black one at the back for the full race. I've changed the accessories, belt and the tensioner as I've shown you in another video, and obviously the oil and the filter, which is standard. I've also, because I've got an ITG performance filter on the car, I've also cleaned this up. I do it every year with ITG's special cleaning kit. So I washed it and cleaned it and re-oiled it back in. And I've also changed the pollen filter as well inside the cabin. So that's about it really. I think next one will be front brake discs. They are about 26mm now, which is the minimum indicated on them, so they might need to be changed soon. And the front pads as well. So yeah, that's about it. I hope you found this useful. Yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.